Today I went to the dentist, and they have you all about the mask, right? They take your temperature when you walk in the front door, and they ask you. Not only do they ask me a bunch of questions, but they had me go on my phone and fill out an online questionnaire. And I'm doing this from the waiting room. It's not like adding any security or anything. And I turn and they're like, "All right, cool. Now we know you're okay." Yeah, I am already here. Like this is all theater. To pretend that we're stopping the spread of the virus. And that's what's silly to me. Restaurants are the same. Dentist, orthodontist, restaurant. These are places where you aren't actually wearing the mask. It's just mask theater.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, all right, well, now that you filled that out and you're safe, Mr. Woodworth, go ahead and pop that mask off. I'm going to put my hands in your mouth.
Right? Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. So why would you, dude? If there is a sillier place to pretend you can have this under control, I have not heard it than a dentist's office. Like, there's no possible way to keep it under control. The dentist's office.
They did have a it was like the X-ray thing they have. It's like a tube that shoots at your head. It was that, but it was suction. And I guess the idea was that any breath I exhaled, it was.
They had a gigantic Mr. Thirsty there for you. Okay,
Mr. Thirsty.
Yeah, when you went to the dentist as a kid, you had Mr. Thirsty.
That's what they called it, dude. Yeah. I still have this anxiety. I almost did it today.
No, they called it King Sucks a Lot.
I have this anxiety. Almost happened today. They polish your teeth. I guess they call it. They use that circular brusher polish shit, and then they rinse it off. So now there's a supernatural version or amount of water in your mouth, more than you would have with just saliva, and they want you to like suck on Mr. Thirsty. And I'm on my back, and I came so close to making a fountain, just like. I
was at the orthodontist once, and I was maybe like 14, 15, getting like fitted for braces where they take the mold, and I was like, even leading up to it, I was telling them like, you know what I'm talking about, that big awful tray that they put in your upper and lower
for the X-rays.
For the mold, to get your mold for your teeth, so they know, where the problems are and what they need to fix. And that big giant slather of pink goo, I could still taste it. And I remember them putting it in my mouth, or about to, and I was like, I've almost thrown up from this before. This looks like you put too much on there. Can you take a little off? And they were like, it's going to be fine. And they put it in there in my mouth, and immediately I feel all that pink paste mushed up. And so it was probably two scoops from Cold Stone of this pink shit in there. And as she mushes it up, like probably 3 dollops ooze down the back of my throat, and I just go, I threw up with all that stuff in my mouth at the dentist's office. So there's like little bits of like pink, like that's starting to harden coming out, and it's stuck in. It was awful. She took me seriously for the lower part of my jaw.
Yeah, you taught her. You did show that bitch a lesson.
After that, they paid attention.
Yeah. Oh God, I hated
that. I didn't hate that stuff as much as you, although I don't think I've ever had a triple dose.
Yeah, it's never been that much.
Yeah, I've had some really, and there was this like actual, when you're a kid, like it doesn't pop in your head like, oh, this adult is like just bad at their job. You think like I'm in the wrong, I'm a kid, like I defer to them. And so like this is more when you're like 7 or 8, you're like sitting there and like it's intense pain, like scraping your gums, and you're like, God, the dentist is hard. And it's like, then you realize, and this, I think I was probably 15, 16 by the time my dentist gave me like a new hygienist, and I realized that like, oh, that woman was just an absolute butcher that had me before, because this new lady's nice, and is that okay? Is that hurt? And it's like, oh, well, thank you for asking. Like, that's sweet of you. You don't just tell me that I'm not brushing well enough because I can't withstand a fucking gladius assault to my gum line.
I'm not a big conversationalist at the dentist.
No. Dentists who want to talk are assholes.
It's hard for me to talk here. You've got pointy things or not. Maybe just a mirror in my mouth. I feel a little vulnerable when I'm laying down on my back in the chair and they're over me in this like position of advantage. I feel like that female dentist hygienist could kick my ass if we started from that position. Like I'm fighting off my back here. I got a problem.
A series of tiny stabs.
And I would rather just be quiet. And my dentist has Netflix on the ceiling and stuff with the captions on, and like I'm happy to just watch the slideshow and not do it, not talk during the whole thing.
Yeah, like Same as a haircut. Like, I feel like if we're talking, you're not going as fast as you could. And I want you to go as fast as you can when you're cutting my hair or working on my teeth. Just get it done. Let me go home.
I haven't had a professional haircut in over a year now. These are all homemade dues, baby.
They're all open around here. You just have to wear
I
your
go.
mask.
Yeah, I go. No, you don't have to wear a mask here.
Really? Yeah, you'd have to wear it. And then, except it doesn't make sense because then you have to take it off so they get your ears. And then it's like, well, what
you don't have to wear a mask anywhere here, Taylor.
It's a blue state. I almost fucked that up. I forgot. With red undertones.
You don't have to wear a mask anywhere. I mean, there's some businesses that are like, hey, you got to wear one here. And it's like, all right, well, I guess I do.
Yeah.
But like, you don't have, there is no mask mandate in the state of Georgia that I've ever heard of. But when you're getting your hair cut, there's like, you can leave your mask on or you can get a good haircut. It's up to you. I'm just like, I'm popping this bitch. I mean, you got a mask. Everybody else got a mask. I'm happy to be the only one without a mask. Like, let's go. Yeah, absolutely.
I came here to get my haircut, not look foolish as I leave with like 2 big tufts of hair they couldn't get to behind your ears.
Decided. I think I have a preference. See, Jackie's not that bad at cutting hair. Not that great. We have seen the bad one. Remember when Landmark was on? But we cleaned that up, and it's like I think I'd rather have a 7 out of 10 free convenient haircut over a 10 out of 10 $20 haircut that takes me like, what does it take? 2 hours maybe round trip that thing, 2.5 hours.
How far away
I
is
live
your
close.
I live close too, but there can sometimes I wait 30 minutes before
make an appointment.
I always make
my place does that.
It's quick.
Yeah, you can even go online. Go online and like reserve your spot, and then like walk right in and sit right down.
It's just like, I don't know how to describe like men's barber, right? Like hairy armed dude in old chairs.
I don't want that anyway. I'm wanting an overweight white woman with purple hair.
Yeah, all the people that cut my hair are women.
Oh no, they're all dudes that work here, and I don't know. That's what I always thought. Like to me, that's a guy's haircut. It's not a salon. It's a guy's haircut place.
I would prefer a salon. If they want to shampoo me at some point, I'd enjoy that. You ever get your hair shampooed at the salon, Taylor? It's wonderful.
I've got it done at the place I get my hair cut. It's called the Hair Saloon for Men.
It's wonderful. They get their fingers in there. It's like, oh yeah, this is great.
You know what amazes me? The temperature's perfect the moment it hits your head. Right? They just, it's never too hot. It's never too cold. And I'm like, what? Like every faucet in the world, I have to warm up for a minute. And somehow yours just comes straight out awesome.
They dial theirs in to like 99 degrees and it's just perfect.
It must be right underneath the sink or something. Like the heater.
It's funny that you say a fat purple-haired woman, Kyle. Not the purple-haired part, but the fat part. This fat white lady that like when I go in and I happen to get her, because I always just make an appointment and I'll take whoever, she is my favorite. She has cut my hair before, and I think it was 11 minutes. It was so fucking fast. It was
Point me at the TV, faster's better. Yeah. Go.
It's like 9:15 in the morning. Can I get an appointment for 9:30? Yeah, go in. 9:48, I'm back home with my hair cut. Like
the lady that cuts my hair is a PKA fan, actually. Like her boyfriend watches it, and I don't know. She talked to me and she asked me what I did, and I was like, like why I was there so in the middle of the day. She's like, "Oh, you work from home," and one thing led to another, and I told her the whole thing. And she's like, "Oh yeah, oh I watched that. Yeah, my boyfriend loves that. The Bible stories. Are you the one that tells the Bible stories?" And I'm like, "Yes, I am. Yes, I am." Did you like the story of Jonah and the whale? That's a good one. Yeah.
Stolen valor. It's not fun when it happens to you. I get it.
I like
yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Dude, that happened at my haircut place. Like, are you the guy from the podcast? It's like, I'll be finishing my haircut elsewhere. Like,
oh yeah,
I'm on Rooster Teeth.
No, I'm another fat guy.
I didn't mention anything about my podcast or whatever to the dental hygienist. The dentist rolls in, and it's Woody, tell me a story, and it always puts me like on the spot. You know, like I'd like a personal performance. Go. So I told him all of Kyle's recent adventures over the last 2 years or so. And after he leaves, the hygienist is like, "What's your podcast? I want to watch it." And I'm like, "No, it's not for good people like you. It's for bad people."
I tell him. I'll be like, I'm like, it's pretty adult themed. We use a lot of bad words, and I was telling a nurse the other day. She was like, I'm a grown up. I like dirty stuff. I was like, it's real dirty, even better. All right.
You know what? Here's my number. We'll watch it together.
Nah, here's a big one.
Not the right one. All right.
You know what? You can come watch it with me. Bring your stuff though. You know, this is every 2 weeks you can watch it with me. Bring your shit.
You're gonna need some rubber gloves to watch this show. Don't ask why.
That'd be a good little setup. Have a person come to your home and cut your hair.
Yeah.
I went to the dentist today, and like I'm sure 1,000 million people have like been frustrated by this, but like they scrape the shit out of my teeth.
Yeah.
My gums rather. And then when they come in, they're like the hygienist is telling the dentist like, yeah, well, he's doing really good everywhere. No cavities, no nothing, like not a lot of plaque even, but his gums on the top, they responded very quickly with blood, very negatively and quickly with blood. And then like the dentist is talking to me like, so you know how now when you're brushing where there's a lot of blood in the sink and such, we're going to do this and that to make sure that doesn't happen anymore. And it's like, I wanted to be like, no, motherfucker, there's never, ever blood when I brush my teeth. It's only when I come here and you stick fucking Dr. Mengele on me that I end up getting blood in the sink. Like, otherwise, I'm fucking fine.
They always have that, like, water drill. It's like, now listen, pressurized washers. We just have one of these at all times next to us. So we're just going to pressurize wash really close to that tender flesh. And if it bleeds at all, give me another $10 copay. You're just gonna have to whatever the fuck you're doing on top of it, and then we're gonna give you Listerine at the end. Like, here's some high alcohol content shit to burn your mouth for 45 seconds.
My dentist anxiety is this: they use the water and they're spraying things. Like maybe they got that twisty little not a toothbrush grinding thing, and they're brushing your teeth with it, and then they're like, all right, they spray it with water and they put the suction thing in there, and I'm supposed to like really accurately wrap my lips around the suction thing and let it pull all the water out of my mouth.
Called Mr. Thirsty, okay?
I'm like,
and Mr. Thirsty fucks. All right, he just dips his ass in there and he sucks up all of the. You don't have to you just close your mouth for a half second and it does its job.
It hasn't happened yet, but I like close my mouth and sort of into the thing, and I'm like, what if I make a fountain? What if I make a fountain and just?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Make a fountain. If your mouth has water in it, you're supposed to like squirt it into Mr. Thirsty. And
but Mr. Thirsty's a vacuum. You don't have to
Mr.
squirt
Thirsty.
it. Yeah, Mr. He does his
when
job.
When I have a bunch of foreign liquid in my mouth, I know how to handle it.
I'm gonna get one for my.
I'm afraid I'm gonna make a fountain back in the chair and just.
I wish I had a Mr. Thirsty at home.
Me too. That's what I said. I was like, think about the cleaning and just put it to the tip of your dick and you're good to go.
I'm gonna put it in my ear. Just really get.
I'm sorry, huh?
Yeah, put it in my ear. I want Mr. Thirsty to go and get that earwax out of there.
But then you're gonna have to put it back in your mouth.
So it's my ear.
Okay. Ew.
Yeah. I saw a guy eat a booger in traffic yesterday. And I was so put off.
Why is it so upsetting? Like that
because he was so blatant about it. Like
no, that's what I'm saying. That
I look in my rearview mirror, and this guy who's my age, he's 30 something. He goes pickety pick, looks at it, and then straight into his mouth, and then chews. Like I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I would
rather watch ISIS behead someone than watch somebody eat a big juicy booger because it is so gross.
Seeing Ted eat that giant booger during the convention, whatever that was, whatever.
Apparently, they can make my teeth perfect in about 15 months. So, you guys will be like, the pandemic's over. What's with the mask, Woody? And I'll be like, I don't know. I'm just wearing it.
Yeah, really. You missed the ball on that one.
I should have been.
In like March 10th, you should have been going in there. Maybe almost done. Well, not really, but a good chunk in.
Be further along.
I hate dentist stuff. I fucking hate it. I hate going in. I hate sitting still that long. Well, you've never had to sit still as long as I have for like tooth stuff, I would imagine.
Like how long?
Yeah.
I think it was like 9:30 in the morning till like 3:34 in the afternoon.
That's absurd.
To get all the
Was there an
molding on my
intermission?
back.
Say it again. Did you say 9 to 3?
Yeah, it was like 6 hours. It was an enormous amount of time to be sitting there. I was
They have a
so
TV?
hungry by the end. Yeah, I had a TV, but I was like watching local news on mute. And
Oh
like,
no, we watch trash TV.
I couldn't focus on anything other than the fact that, like, you know, when something new is introduced into your mouth, you feel it immediately. Like even the tiniest little fleck of food, you're like, oh, that's fucking there. I know exactly where it is. I gotta go get it. When someone is doubling the size of all your teeth, like I'm laying there for 6 straight hours, stressed as fuck, because I'm just like, I can barely move my tongue around in here. Because the way they start it is they just block a bunch of shit up there, and then they start like shaving it down and everything, and it got smaller over time, but it felt awful. Like I remember going to Chick-fil-A right afterward. So like, you can eat right now. And I was like having trouble chewing, like, cause my teeth now lined up correctly. And I was used to like cross mouth chewing the way I had my whole life. It was like a weird, probably
like a cow does, like the way they like do their bottom and top jaw like this.
Yes. Yeah.
You
I
chewed
ate
cud.
like, I chewed cud because my teeth lined up exactly on top of each other. And so there was there was nothing to do.
Holy shit.
I was so self-conscious about how I ate, like in high school and everything.
You're chewing like a fucking ventriloquist puppet. Like a fucking ventriloquist puppet.
I was chewing like a holiday nutcracker, basically. And I remember once I was sitting, like, you know how these things stick with you from like high school. I was sitting there like eating lunch at a table with my friends, and one of my buddies, still good friends with him to this day, looks at me, he's like, why the hell do you eat like that? And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you're fucking chewing. Why do you chew like that? I was like, I don't know, man. And so like, still remember that. I remember going up to the next class like, damn, that rough. This is a massive blow. Like I've been doing this in front of everyone forever. I look like a retard, apparently.
I had it worse. So what is the TMJ? Something muscular joint in your jaw. Do you know this joint? No. Okay. So the joint right by your earlobe where your jaw goes up and down. And the acronym for it is TMJ. And I had this weird problem where if I took a bite out of something big, like a hoagie, Subway, like type sandwich, that it was incredibly painful. So what I would do is I take my 2 fingers to my lower jaw and like dislocate it like a snake, at which point I could eat big things. And like as a lifeguard, my daily meal was like a turkey and cheese and mustard sandwich in like one of these Subway rolls, a hoagie. And I'd just be like, look a little left, look a little right, dislocate, eat the thing. And then, you know, like,
Did you have to like pop it back in?
Just closing my mouth would put it back in. So I had to be careful to eat in such a way that I didn't, like, if I closed it all the way, well, fuck, now I have to pull it back out with my fingers again and like, like a snake. And it would make it would make a sound. No, you probably wouldn't hear it even if you were next to me, but of course it's like in my ear. Like I can hear it click back in place or thud back in place. So yeah, I just like low key did that. I went to an oral surgeon about it, and he basically said like, we can try and fix this with TMJ pain. There's a low success rate, and the way they fixed it involved Teflon. There was like a high suicide rate because it like leaches into people and makes them like
Jesus
pain. And I was like, yeah, let's you know. So the one thing he suggested, he's like, let's look at the foods that cause you trouble. It was like steak, large sandwiches, mostly things you had that were like a little more challenging to eat.
Yeah.
He's like, why don't you switch to bread? See how that works. And so I made some lifestyle changes, you know, so I didn't have like hard to chew things, and it got better in a couple months.
So you still can't eat a Subway sandwich, or
I can now, yeah. But I'm like wary that if that were to become like a daily diet change, it could go back.
Yeah, you don't do that anyway. It's mostly sugar.
Yeah, right. It's not real bread.
It's absurd to read that their bread isn't legally bread in some countries.
Ireland, yeah.
Well, I mean, it tastes like shit. It's pretty awful bread.
Wait.
Subway is what Kyle's talking about, right?
I don't think it's
you,
bad bread.
Taylor.
Oh, I don't like your bread.
No,
Mr. Bread connoisseur over here. Subway bread's not good enough for him.
I remember going in the first time they introduced the Asiago cheddar bread. I was like, that sounds great. And I must have ordered during the Great Cheese Famine of 05 because there were 5 flecks of cheese on top of it. I had half a mind to burn that establishment down.
You were just expecting the whole top of the sandwich to be a big Cheez-It. And
there was a huge sign that said Asiago cheese, and the picture was coded.
The top of that fucking sandwich is covered in goddamn cheese, and that wasn't enough cheese for you?
It wasn't this time.
They put cheese on the inside of the sandwich as well.
It was the great cheese shortage of 2005.
Tell me something, Charlie. How much cheese would you say you eat on a given day?
I do need to slow down on the cheese. I got my blood tested and my cholesterol is a little high.
Really? Was it?
Yeah. Are you serious? I talk all the time about how many deli meats and cheeses. It's not a bit. This is how I live my life. It's how I go in.
My cholesterol's fine. I'm pushing 50, Taylor. I have like a family history.
I'm being
how many blocks of cheese do you eat a day, Woody?
It's not that high, but it is a little high.
Was it in the green range?
No, it was just out of the green range. Okay. So it was, it said, like, as you go through the list of everything, it's like, liver, kidneys, vitamins, and like the fine, good.
Triglycerides.
And then it was like cholesterol, little in the danger zone there. So we need to back off. So I need to make some different decisions about deli meats and cheeses. Eating red meat 5 times a week. Not the best. Not the best thing to do. It's weird. It's like I guess I can't eat whatever I want all the time anymore.
People eat red meat in the vertical diet. I've been watching YouTube videos about it. I haven't made the plunge yet, but one of the challenges with diet is there's a little to it getting educated, if you want to do it right, I guess. And some of these diets, it seems like if you do it 80% right, that's not it. No. You can't just like go 80. You have to
like when you went on like make believe keto.
Yes, I guess what I was actually doing was just kind of eating a little more healthy. But like they're like tomatoes. That's sugar. That's not keto. That'll end ketosis. Ketosis. Thank you. And I was like, tomatoes are sugar. Like, fuck, they're not even that good. And you consider them sugar balls?
I went into the
diet's bullshit.
Into the deli meat section where I get that stuff. And this was after the test and I got the little result and I was like, I've never looked at the back of these packages. And I went in there and I looked at like the information on some sopressata and I was like, this can't be true. Like, this is an outrageous amount of cholesterol. It's like serving size 3 pieces. Who eats 3 pieces of deli meat? You eat the package until it's mostly gone and then you convince yourself this isn't even enough for a sandwich. I may as well finish it off. That's how you eat deli meat. That's how you eat deli meat.
At this point, it would be rude to leave this roast beef behind.
That was my favorite thing about The Sopranos. I was like, all right. But then I was like, all right, he's not a beacon of health, Tony.
And as the years go on, and you watch Tony, you're like, I've been living my life by this man's code. I've made a terrible error.
I really try to avoid food that comes in plastic. Right. If it comes in plastic, that includes Cheez-Its, that includes deli meats, if it came in plastic, it's probably bad.
Well, no, you go get the good stuff. Like you go to the actual deli and have them like slice stuff up for you.
Yeah, stuff in the wax paper. Right. That's good for you.
Yeah, maybe that's not a great example, but yeah, if the food comes in,
it is a great example because the deli meats are not good for you. Taylor is just.
They're terrible.
I bet there's other ones like turkey can't.
I don't know.
Isn't turkey a little bit? Like if you would have turkey,
turkey. That's barely even meat.
I've never out being like I need a snack went and got slices of turkey. It's always like fatty. Like
I like turkey a lot. I like really thinly sliced turkey sandwiches with like lettuce and tomato and.
I like that, but I wouldn't just want to eat a piece of turkey. Like you can eat just like salami or stuff like that, and it's delicious because
I like to eat the turkey. I like to eat pieces of turkey. I really do. I get fancy turkey though, like Cajun turkey.
The house ran out of trail mix a week ago. You were about to see Adonis Woody emerge. Lifeguard Woody coming back 2021.
I don't remember the last time I ate trail mix. Like I don't understand the appeal.
Either. I don't like it that much.
And I feel that way about like Taylor's weakness foods. So a lot of it I feel like is this like normalizing deviant behavior, right? So trail mix for you guys, perhaps you see it and you're like, what? No. The like enjoyment calorie perspective is way out of whack.
No, that's not it.
Oh, go on.
I see it as this weird, obscure food that I've never seen anyone else eat outside of like Boy Scouts when I was 7. To me, it's like if you had a Mike and Ike's problem, that like, You're like, I got a real Mike and Ike's problem. We got all the Mike and Ike's out of the house. We looked through all the cupboards, all the drawers.
We got a good and plenty thing going on.
I went up in the attic, got all the Mike and Ike's out of there. Jackie's car was full of Mike and Ike's, so I went in the glove box, got those, got my secret stash of Mike and Ike's out of the gun vault. Those are gone too. Now I'll admit, I do have a small baggie of Mike and Ike's in my pocket right now, but that's me telling myself I'm in control of Mike and Ike's.
So I get it, all right, but I still think the normalization of deviant behavior is like kind of on it. Like you see trail mix, you just like that's not even a food that enters this cathedral, And but I turn my nose up at Cheez-Its, and I think it's just a little easier for me to like look down on them because the like cost benefit ratio for me isn't that high. I look at Cheez-Its, I'm like, that comes in plastic. It's just like cholesterol salt.
What's your favorite part of the trail mix? Because again, I literally haven't seen this shit since I was a child, but I do remember that it's like 5 things mixed together.
Yeah.
M&M's is one of them.
Yeah,
M&M's is one of them.
M&M's is definitely a high point. Mine has M&M's. It has like something in like a Milk Dud family.
When's the last time, or I guess what's the most work either of you have done at the dentist?
I've had a root canal and I've had a tooth pulled.
Woody, you've had a root canal, right?
No, one time I had a cavity.
Oh, man, you got some good oral health. One cavity in your life.
Yeah. I also, I've told this before, but one time I absentmindedly bit my fork and cracked like my front teeth in a really small way. And it's not that big a deal. They just sort of add some stuff on. Form it, and it was painless.
Yeah, that stuff's not too bad. Like getting these actual things put on hurt less than them sanding it down the other day. So,
I'll bet that sounds horrific. I've had the tooth pulled and I've had the full on root canal, and neither one.
Where did you have the root canal?
In the top, in the back.
Did that hurt? I've never had a root canal.
No. People complain about root canals are pussies.
Now, of course, I know exactly what a root canal is, but for people out there who don't know, describe it in detail as if pretend I'm an idiot.
Okay. They grind the entire top of your tooth sort of flat, and they burrow the entire rotten part of it all the way down till it's nothing but healthy tooth in the center of your molar, and then they drill all the way down through the root of your tooth through the nerve. They drill the nerve out that's coming up into your tooth, and there's like 2 of them. They're in these canals. That's the root that's the root canal, and they drill all that out, and then they inject it with like this plastery plastic shit, and then they wait for that to harden, and then they fill the tooth back in and put a cap on it.
So I have some questions about the pain. If you were to stack rank what was most painful, was it the state you were in that required the root canal beforehand, the procedure, or the recovery?
None of it was bad.
Really?
Before the worst pain was before, because sometimes if I bit on a piece of food just right, it would go up into the tooth and hit the nerve, and that could be an extreme amount of pain. That was bad. But the root canal itself, like I felt like we never got above like a 2 out of 10 on the pain scale. It was mostly uncomfortability. Because they had this thing that like opens your mouth and like sort of quarantines the tooth. This whole like blue plastic bullshit that sort of like does this, and the center hole is like.
Are you
tooth.
under or no?
No, I'm fully awake.
I wonder if there was something about your procedure or your doctor that made your experience better than everyone else's. Right? Did you have like a little root canal, if such a thing exists? Or
I got some X-rays somewhere. It didn't look too little. It was the biggest tooth in my mouth. He gave me Novocaine before. He injected that shit into my gums, and we waited for it to actually work, and then he drilled the fuck out of my mouth for like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
And as the Novocaine wore off, you didn't have some kind of it eventually.
I mean, after I left.
Yeah.
Oh,
the recovery.
They gave me. It started hurting a little bit afterwards, but they gave me. What are they called? They're called like Tylenol 5s or something like that.
Tylenol 3.
Yeah, Tylenol 3. So it's a mixture of Tylenol, which anybody can buy, but a lot of it, and codeine, which you can't buy, which is a narcotic, and that's some good shit.
I disagree.
Well, you haven't had enough of it then.
I don't think everyone reacts the same. Like I know other people too who are like, like the sort of sickness feeling I get from it is worse than the pain I am avoiding.
Is it an opiate? Is that
Yeah.
what it is?
Yeah.
Because opiates, like I've only taken one ever when my eardrum was about to burst when I was like 18, and it was a Percocet, and all it did was make me feel itchy. And
I was
hated it.
itchy. Oh, I love the itchiness.
Yeah.
That
No,
goes
I
away.
did not like the itchiness.
Yeah, get good and scratchy. Get your girlfriend, she scratches you, and you're just high as fuck on codeine.
I remember laying in the bed just like itchy as fuck, but also like the pain was finally gone, and so it was like a trade-off. And then like getting to the end of Wizard of Oz on Netflix and not having the energy to pick something else out to watch, and so I just went to play from beginning and just had it run all the way through again.
I was
wasn't paying
really
any attention.
I was really hungry when I got home from the root canal, and I knew that the Novocaine or whatever was about to wear off and there'd be pain, and I wouldn't be able to eat good food for a while. So I was like, I'm taking advantage of this. How much damage could we do? So I got like those select chicken tenders from McDonald's and just munched them up, not giving a fuck. And I like spat blood by the time I was done, but they were delicious.
Did you guys ever get your wisdom teeth removed?
I did.
The one I had to get cut out and pulled, or just pulled really. That was a wisdom tooth, and he took it out in literally 2 minutes. Like he
Really?
like he gave me the numbing stuff. He came back in. He's like, "You ready to get that tooth out?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" And he fucking all right, here it is, got it. And I was just like, "Holy shit, that was fast!" I barely felt a thing. He's like, "Yeah," like I felt pressure because he's prying a tooth out of my head, but like I have it somewhere. It's disgusting. The only issue was he like fractured. He broke it up a lot to getting it out.
Mhm.
And 3 pieces afterwards of very sharp fragments of teeth that are like if you took a grain of rice and broke it in half, like that, but tooth. So it's like obsidian. You know how obsidian will break in these weird
sharp.
Yeah, that forced its way through my gum and came out, and like 3 of them, kinda. But that was like left inside of the tooth hole. When they sewed it up, and they forced themselves back through my gum over the course of the months and months to follow. And occasionally I'd feel like a little prick back there with my tongue, and I'd just like scratch a little, and then I'd grab it and pull the tooth through my gum. And like, oh, look at that. Throw that away.
I've told my wisdom teeth story before, but the guy was a client of my father's. My father was an accountant, so he had sort of contacts in almost everything. And this guy's an oral surgeon. I guess the thought process was that, because my dad knew him, I would get extra care or something. Didn't turn out like that. He was like 45 minutes late for like even showing up. Like he just was late. And then I get there, and in a whirlwind, I remember he like tore his coat off, threw it on the hook, put me under. Next thing I know, I'm on the front yard crying, begging, grabbing the grass, and not wanting to go into my girlfriend Jackie's car. And it was just a brutal experience. I recovered so poorly. I was damn near addicted to painkillers. The 3 weeks later, my face was puffy and huge. And so many people recover from their wisdom teeth over the weekend. Yeah. Yeah. None of them were impacted, but like 3 of them would have been eventually. Like they were growing sideways. And it was just a terrible, terrible recovery. I missed like weeks of work and really got into the painkiller. It opened my eyes because like I didn't have access to more painkillers after my prescription ran out. But if I was one of those guys that did, like I think Brett Favre was like addicted to them roughly at about this time. And I'm like, man, yeah, if I was him and I had guys throwing pills at me anytime I wanted them, I felt that pull of wanting more.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my experience. It was terrible. What's not as bad as everyone says? There's an Ask Reddit question I ran across and kind of thought was cool.
Root canals. No big deal at all.
Really?
Nothing to a root canal. Just
I don't know, man.
No, here's I think that getting teeth pulled, getting root canals. I'm trying to think what else. That I think those people are pussies. I think they're absolute pussies. And I'm not going to share that one, but there's a lot of things that people are like, oh, this is going to be terrible. It's going to hurt so much. It's going to be the worst thing you've ever done. And so you go into it with that anticipation, and you're afraid even. You're like, because you imagine what they're saying, but your version of that because of your own personal pain tolerances and stuff like that. And then I get there and I'm like, okay, there was a tiny pinch when you injected me with that painkiller, and it's a little uncomfortable to hear as you're prying around in there, yanking this tooth out of my head. But this took 6 minutes, and
That's
like
it.
to get the tooth out,
Wow.
like
Oh,
the
a
tooth
tooth
pulling.
out. I was talking about
I
root
thought you were
canal.
talking about
Root canal was just over an hour. Root canal is just over an hour because there's a lot of they
An
I
hour
wanna
and 15
say-
minutes of something I like is a lot.
there's a TV up in the corner. I'm watching like garbage TV. There's a window right in front of me too with like the outdoors. I'm just laying there, and they've got this like crazy thing like on that Alien movie where they're torturing the guy that's like does your mouth like this so that only that tooth is exposed. Like, they numb you up, they grind down the top of the tooth, they drill out the entire root, then they fill it up with some sort of silicone shit, and then they cap that bitch off and you're done. And like it honestly didn't hurt at all. There were some sensations I knew that without the painkiller this would hurt. Basically, like I had that knowledge, but there was painkiller.
A thought and a question. So one, I wonder if your tooth or your doctor or that combo led to a better experience than average. Two, how much did it hurt on the recovery, like on the tail end?
Nothing to it. They gave me. They didn't even give me real painkillers. The way I remember, they gave me like those Tylenol 500s or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Which is which is really powerful Tylenol.
It's just like 3 Motrins instead of 2.
Yeah, they didn't give me codeine or anything fucking cool like that. Oh, one time they did. When they pulled the tooth, they gave me Tylenol with codeine, and woohoo, that's some good shit.
You go back the next week like this one's not looking good either. Frank.
For real, dude.
I got 32 of these bad boys. We can go for half a year.
I have one more wisdom tooth, and every time I brush my teeth, I'm like, not you though. Not you, motherfucker.
I had
You're good.
terrible
You're coming
wisdom
out.
tooth experience. Mine hurt for 3 weeks. I got to say I was addicted to painkillers is a stretch, but after I ran out of painkillers, I wanted more. And my face.
It was like a shaman like crumbling leaves into your mouth. Like
I went to an oral surgeon, and he was behind schedule. Like he was like an hour and a half late, and I show up there, and I'd wait and wait and wait and wait. I'm wondering if we're even doing it today. He hustles in, and they like quickly rushed me into the back room, and I was unconscious in like 90 seconds. And I know he was just trying to like make up time, and he did a shitty job.
I was awake for both of my little procedures, the root canal and the tooth removal, and I'm driving myself home after this shit. So just give me
You drove yourself home?
Yeah.
I have a vague memory of negotiating. Jackie was my girlfriend at the time, but she was the one that took me back to my apartment. And I'm on the grass, like clenching it with my hands, asking her if we can just take a break here.
That's because you had general anesthetic.
Can we just stop? Like I don't want to go in the car yet. I can't. And like that's the state I was in as I left the doctor's office.
Yeah, it's the difference between general anesthetic and local anesthetic. I'm just getting shots of Novocaine in the affected area, and you're getting like gassed.
I couldn't drive home when I got put under, but if you're just getting local, you're not drugged.
Nothing to it. And when he took the tooth out, I'm not exaggerating when I say it was just minutes, less than 10, I would say, from the time the painkillers kicked in to the time he was in there and fucking prying. And he was like cluck 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 cluck. And like
this is a wisdom tooth.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. He had that bitch. I've got it somewhere. I showed it on the show. It was nasty as fuck. Remember?
Ugh. I don't remember. I don't remember mine getting taken out.
It was cool. It was fun. I'm looking forward to going back in, and it's only like $200. $200. It's a little adventure. Yeah, pop this shit out.
One of the answers on Ask Reddit that got highly voted was eating at a restaurant alone is not as bad as everyone says.
Yeah,
I
Do
love
people
eating
say that's
alone.
bad?
Yeah,
I
I don't
eat
think
alone
it's bad.
all
I
the
don't mind.
time.
Oh, I eat
Yeah.
alone.
It's nice.
If I want to eat there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't eat at restaurants that often, but like last time I got Vietnamese, it was actually during the fitness thing when I hit the waiter. And but yeah, I'll eat alone. It's kind of nice. They ask me what I want. I usually pick my favorite seat. I sit there and read on my phone without guilt. It's a good.
I can only
environment.
think of one time in my life I've done it. I was in LA about to go hook up with Harley and do an epic meal time at some studio, and I had like an hour to kill, and I was there was this Mexican restaurant there, and I went in and had delicious Mexican food by myself, and that was fine because I had a few drinks because I knew I was about to go do an epic meal, and but yeah, that's the only time I've ever eaten alone. I don't do that. I like
sides
eating
of
to
it.
be a social experience,
Really?
social thing. Yeah,
Do you worry that people judge you for having no one to eat with, and do you judge people for eating alone?
No and no. I just don't want to do it. Eating is sort of a social sort of thing for me. So if I'm going to eat alone, I'd rather just come home and it's like watching a sporting event. Like, might be worth going if I'm with some friends and we're like enjoying the thing together. But if I'm just watching a UFC fight, I want to be at my own house with my own snacks, with my own liquor, with my own TV and my couch or my bed or wherever I'm doing, with my laptop open next to me with 30 friends who are also watching it or whatever, and linking memes back and forth. I don't want to deal with traffic and all that other shit. It's a social thing.
Okay.
It's no fun to eat alone.
Fair enough. I really don't mind it at all.
Yeah, I enjoy my alone time.
Yeah, it is. One of my favorite things to do is eat alone. If there's a good place that I want to go eat, I will go there alone. I will sit there. I will take my time. I'll do whatever I want to do, and that's kind of like the nice thing about it. I don't want to talk to people 100% of the time. I do think that eating alone eating with other people is fine, but like saying anything is good with your friends kind of is redundant because they're your friends because you enjoy spending time with them, right? So I don't, my enjoyment of the activity is basically I enjoy it solo. So.
Yeah, I like cooking for myself a lot too. So if I'm gonna have a nice meal like by myself, then I'm gonna spend a whole bunch of money on myself and cook a nice meal at home. I'm gonna sous vide a steak and make some twice baked potatoes and get wasted and have a good time.
And you'll save money on booze. Find it on your own. There you go.
Yeah, absolutely. $30 for $30 for that big ass handle. You know what? You get $30 doesn't get you anywhere at the bar or at a restaurant.
Yeah, $30 is not a lot.
How much is a drink? $6?
More.
Could be more than
12.
that.
8 to 12. Like beer is 8, mixed drinks 12, 13.
Fuck. $10 a drink.
This ain't Applebee's.
Yeah.
I was
that's
shocked.
like 2 bets, Tucker.
And that's only if you want one drink. Didn't Applebee's do some marketing thing recently where like they've been struggling so much that they're like, hey, we just want to remind you, you're welcome to come get fucked.
Just completely frozen.
Are you frozen now? He's standing still. Yeah. He's frozen now. I see.
It just comes back for the fuck.
That was probably as funny as whatever he was saying. It turned out okay, Taylor.
Oh, okay, good. What's annoying is I can still hear you guys
the whole time.
Yeah, and so I don't. So it's a different kind of glitch I'm seeing here. Yeah, I get all the mockery, none of the chance to clap back.
I'm okay with this.
I think long drives are people complain about long drives as if they're the worst thing in the world. I think that a drive becomes long. I think that a drive becomes long after 5 hours. I think that a day trip, if you're going there and back in a day, my limit is 3 hours. I've done that a lot. I've gone, I've driven to Toronto and back. I've driven, to San Diego and back. Like 3 hours in, 6 hours round trip in a day is kind of my limit. But I've done 15 and a half hours moving to Portland from Los Angeles. That's a long drive. And it really isn't bad. Like you have all that time to hang out and listen to music, catch up on podcasts, sit in silence, think. It's a pain in the ass after like hour 10, but it's not like, I hear people like, oh, I got to drive an hour and a half. It's like, okay.
I had a different
one
thing.
album.
I went on a similar length drive. Mine was 18 and a half hours with another dude. This dude and I were friends, but we were like paramotor friends. So like by the end of that 18-hour drive, like I don't know.
Rested?
What's that?
You were well rested.
Kyle's pointing out that I slept while he drove one time.
Only for 20 hours each way.
20 hours.
I love how
now.
you will never let him live that down.
I am 100% guilty and a bad person. But on his drive, there were some naps involved on each side. But anyway, I knew the guy better afterwards. We were much closer, and it was a good experience.
I knew Woody's snoring patterns much better after our drive together.
I have no clapback. I am 100% guilty of everything he said.
When we were going to DC, I'd hit every pothole I saw to try to stir him awake.
Good luck with that. I've explained my side before. I at the time I uploaded every day and never missed a day. So if I were to like go somewhere for 5 days, the 2 days before that, I'd do like 7 days worth of work, and
Yep.
I was just awake, working and making videos.
It's terrible.
You know what people act like is way worse than it is having to shit in public. Like having to go to shit.
Oh, yeah.
like in the alley.
No, I'm just talking about like street corners,
grocery
patios,
stores. I know what you mean. Yeah, sure. It doesn't bother me either.
You know those people who will be like, "Oh no, I only poop at home."
Yeah.
Like when you really have to shit that bad, and you happen to be out and about, you're thankful that you're able to do it at Walmart, even if it is
anywhere.
You know, and some people are those like will like try and hide their shittery. Have you ever been the second man in on a poop situation where there's another guy already shitting, there's a stall adjacent, you go in, and immediately you're like, either this guy is the most silent shitter imaginable, or he's hoping I unload everything I've got, and then I wipe and get out of here and let him continue. I've never understood that, because I have always gone in and tried to be the alpha shitter. Like, when I go in, like, if there's another guy pooping, like, I try to poop loud. Like, this is my bathroom, bitch.
I like to think the other guy is like enemy at the gates,
you.
where he times it for your booms and he shoots at the same time. You know, like, wait for the explosion and snipe him.
Under the cover.
Wait, it's coming. And then they hear like the gurgling. No. And then yeah. Do you guys do that where you like you try and alpha the bathroom? You shit loud, you get it done.
No, what I do is completely independent of what happens in the other
Yeah,
stalls.
I just do it at my own pace. I will, however, if I'm at an airport, you know, my headphones are in. Like that way I'm isolated, I'm in my own zone. I'm not going to expose myself if I don't have to the noise, not also I won't do that.
I have a hot doctor. A hot female doctor.
Oh,
nice.
And no, it's not nice.
Oh,
it's
no,
not what you think.
terrible.
Because like I'm in decent shape and stuff and everything, but I'm like, if I'm worried about certain lumps anywhere, and like I gotta ask her to check them out, and it's like, you know what I mean? And
you should tell her.
Weird.
Dude, that's how you hit on her too. This is the perfect way to hit on her professionally.
No.
Here's what you say. All right, here, you're the doctor. I'm you. I would say,
we're gonna role play.
I think it's huge. No, wait 1 minute. It gets bigger.
It's cold outside. It's cold outside.
I would say, Dr. Pretty Lady, I need a referral for another whatever she does, whatever her title is. And she's gonna be, oh, wait, why? For someone else? No, for me. No, for me. You moving or no? I just feel more comfortable with someone that I wasn't so attracted to. I find it hard. I find it hard to keep, professional environment relationship between us. Why not hit on her on your way out the door? Because you need somebody checking lumps.
Yeah. Yeah. Good idea. Try that, everyone.
Three women I don't hit on is my doctor, my banker, and my.
She's not your doctor anymore. You're leaving.
What's the third one?
But
You're
it's
leaving.
Accountant.
Yeah, your list is 3 people too long.
Like she's not your doctor anymore. Like you just made the case.
No, I need to keep her though. I can't mess that up.
Oh, you'll keep her. You'll never lose.
Is this about supporting the community? Is it one of those types? Do you want to make sure she gets the business?
You give her the
keep
business.
her all to myself. No,
that's what
it's hard to find a family doctor to stick with these days. Like a lot of them are out of office a lot, and they use nurse practitioners to check you out half the time. Where mine will like come in and I get to see my actual doctor. So it's like I hear a lot of stuff, even like Canada and USA, where they don't get to see their physical doctors much. Right?
I yelled at a dentist the other day. It's been months now, but because they don't. It wasn't public. I guess the front of their office is public-ish. That was when I went in for that fucking emergency root canal. And they didn't have a dentist there who could perform a root canal.
Oh,
and I was like, well, what the fuck am I doing here for?
How does a dentist not be able to do a root canal?
Like it's even worse. Like I went on their website and like filled out the form, and they're like, what do you need? And I'm like, emergency root canal. And so like I go in for my appointment, and she's like, hey, can I help you? I'm like, I'm here for the emergency root canal. She's like, oh, okay. And I like go past her through, and it's like a horse trough system of like bays. And like she goes in and like looks at my fucking tooth. She's like, oh yeah, oh wow. She's like, we're gonna take an X-ray, and she like X-rays it, and she like shows me, and then she takes a camera and takes some pictures of it. And then like a dentist comes in, and she like shows me the X-rays and the pictures, and she's like, yeah, you need a root canal. And I'm like, yeah, fucking hop too.
Let's go. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know why we bothered with what's got to be.
I brought my credit card and everything.
Yeah,
yeah. I don't know why we bothered with what's got to be $200 or $300 worth of like. Are you going to sign those? Did I put those? Like, I don't know.
Because that's pure
but
profit.
let's get this out of here. And they're like, no, no one here's like certified to do root canals or anything. So we would need to refer you to our like Atlanta office in Dunwoody or something. They're gonna send me to a different kind of dentist in like fucking Dunwoody or some shit. And it's like, what the fuck am I doing here? What am I paying y'all for? I'm like, I'm not paying y'all anything for any of this. Like, you have wasted my time.
You have wasted my time and my entire day.
I'm gonna shoot everybody.
like I paid for parking. Like, this is in a really fancy area.
Can you validate this?
No, they didn't validate my parking. It was
the nerve of them.
That's
think
weird though, bro. Like, who goes to dentistry school and not know how to do root canal? I thought that was like basics.
I think what it was is they don't want to. I think that's like some sort of business model where they're paying like a fucking junior dentist. Well, that's what I told her. I told the lady out front, and the lady out front got way too defensive because I wasn't attacking her. I was clearly attacking the people in the back. She got a whole attitude. I was like, y'all don't have any dentists here. She's like, did you see the dentist? I'm like, there's not a dentist back there. She's like, what are you talking about? There's 3 or 4. I'm like, no, y'all got a bunch of tooth cleaners back there.
Yeah.
I was like, y'all clean teeth. That's not dentistry. Like, I can fucking brush them up real good. Give me that little swirly thing and Mr. Thirsty. I'll put a tent up outside, hang my fucking shingle too.
Is Mr. Thirsty the vacuum that sucks your saliva out?
I bet there's not a syringe in the room. Oh, that's what they offered me. She was like, we could numb it up for you.
Really?
I was like, are you going to numb me up and send me across the street to the real dentist? She was like, no, the appointment would be like weeks from now. And I'm like, fuck you. Fuck
that's
you.
Messed up, bro.
Fuck
that's
you.
Crazy.
I broke that bitch off and just kept going.
Yeah, I don't know.
That sounds suspect. I don't know.
You should have got your money's worth. Like, does this dick look big to you?
I didn't.
You know what? Scan me again while I'm here. Like, just keep getting X-rays.
No, I didn't pay for any of that. And they tried to contact me because I made a stink about it on here and like maybe mentioned their name or something like that. But I just refused to take their calls.
Yeah. It's called Dog Shit Dentistry of Atlanta.
That was so funny when dude, the best was when like I talked shit about that motorcycle dealership for giving me a hard time. And the viewers of the show wrecked their Google reviews so goddamn bad that the owner of and it's like a chain of like 15 dealerships. Like the owner's he's like, I just got off the plane. They're telling me there's been a real snafu here, Mr. Myers. And I just want to know, what can we do to make you happy and get you onto one of our bikes? Like whatever it takes, we'll give you a heck of a deal. And I'm like, I'm on my new bike right now. I bought a more expensive bike. I paid more for it. Like it was like $2,000 or $3,000 more. I was like, and told him the whole fucking story. I don't want to. Anyway, I think he was like, we would like you to go to the dealership and like maybe help us and help. They wanted me to go to the dealership and talk to the manager there about how she could train her employee to handle those situations better.
It's not even working for free.
Send them an invoice.
And I'm just like, I'm not going to go back there. I was like, I'm not
bro?
Going back there. I'm on my new motorcycle right now, having a great day. It's like, I hope those Google reviews clear up though.
Do you hope?
Yeah, y'all were ferocious on that. Y'all fucked
Dude, my
up.
favorite was at one point in the story, they're like, we don't sell motorcycles, we sell fun. And the reviews were like, they sell type 3 fun.
Yeah. Like everybody was basically making their review. My friend Kyle went there and then like a paragraph that said like how they treated me and like over and over and over again.
Beautiful.
So that they didn't appreciate that. I think they fired that guy. That guy was an asshole. I was there about. Yes.
I'm just asking, like, was he an asshole or was he just doing what that store wanted him to do?
Oh, he was an asshole. Yeah, okay. They don't like have a. I would be very surprised if in this little motorcycle store they have like a training where they're like, here are the ABCs of selling. This is what you need to do. I think they're just kind of turning them loose as salesmen in general. But no, he was a dickhead. And like I just had spent like, I don't know, however much all of my gear cost, like in that store. I told the guy on the phone, I was like, I just had spent like $1,500 at your store last week. I was there to spend 10 more thousand, and I planned on spending at least another $1,000 or $2, like Bluetoothing my shit out and getting bags and stuff there. Like, I'm your guy.
Yeah.
like,
I'm a great consumer.
And you couldn't have upset me more and treated me more poorly. So no, I don't want to deal with your thing. But I'll tell my viewers that you were nice and they should leave you alone because you've dealt with the salesman or whatever.
Damn. I could have used you guys many times on. Oh my gosh, trust me.
I mean, all you gotta do is go on Twitter, be like, "Look what just happened." Look at this motherfucker right here, guys. This is the guy. His name. You just throw people out there, throw their shit on the internet these days. I see that on YouTube all the time.